Hi everybody and welcome to Total Body Lab channel. My name is Katya Gorbachova. I'm a North Carolina and Virginia bikini champion of 2019 and currently training as a powerlifter by Alexi Bakhtio. Today we are going to be discussing lifting shoes. So yes, this is the reason why there is a pile of shoes in front of me. To be honest, this topic has been spiked by just so many questions from my friends and clients, and I see people squatting in running shoes, use squat shoes for deadlift, or they would, I don't know, run in Converse. I've seen that. I actually done that when I was young and dumb. So what makes sense in terms of lifting shoes? That's what we're going to discuss today. Stay tuned. Alright, so from this unorganized pile, let's start from the very, let's start from the simplest. These are all my shoes, so this is not an extensive lift of shoes that you could have for fitness purposes or for leisure purposes. But I'm just going to go through every single pair and what they're good for and what they're not good for. So these are just the basic New Balance shoes. They are pretty, they have a pretty squishy sole. I think I can even squish it with my fingers. Maybe I'm not that strong. So yeah, you can see it squishes pretty well. And actually when I was at the store a couple of days ago buying hiking shoes, I have noticed the exact same pair. And I thought, maybe these are my favorite walking shoes. I walk in them, I don't really do anything else in them. I just use them for leisure purposes, wearing outside. And I thought, maybe I'll buy the same pair if they're so nice. And I put on the same pair and realized I have one old and one new shoe of the exact same shoe, and I realized that the sole actually wears out so much. Not necessarily from the bottom, but it just squishes. Like you see this line? In the new shoes, it wasn't there. So within a year of wear, and I think I've ran in them a couple of times. I don't really run in them, or I don't do anything else. I don't use these too much. They've worn out so much that I'm not gonna buy this shoe anymore. Moving on. These are Brooks, and these are my running shoes. These are actually probably the favorite pair of my running shoes that I've ever had. These are pretty high heeled, so I was really worried that something would happen, I don't know, with my knees, with my quads, if I run in the shoe with such a giant heel. They're called ghost runners, but the people who usually go to Fleet Feet to get my stride assessed, probably about every once in a year, once in 2 years, and I get new running shoes. And I try to see if there's any changes. So I usually got Nikes before, but the problem with Nikes, I don't have any Nikes right now. The problem with Nikes is they are really, they have really narrow toe box. So if you want to fan your fingers out when you run or when you do whatever you do in those shoes, they kind of, they squish your fingers together, you know, like ladies' stilettos. Like if anybody could have come with a more uncomfortable shoe that would be than a stiletto, then I don't know what it would have to be. Anywho, running with your toes squished is not the best feeling, which is why I got Brooks, but they came out with this large heel, and it's actually worked out pretty nice. So the heel is also pretty squishy. I don't think I can squish this one with my hands, but under my weight it squishes, and I feel very speedy and cozy running in them. You know, if I wear shoes that have less of a heel that I could run in, or have a firmer sole like these are cross trainers, then I have a harder time running. So maybe this little bouncy marshmallow on the heel really helps me run. I want to warn everybody, people have squatted in these shoes, people have deadlifted in these shoes. My friends who are athletes do this. I'm not gonna name any names, but I know you're watching and you know I'm talking about you. Dear friend, please do not do exercise with axial load in running shoes. What exercise with axial load? That is somewhere where you put a weight on the axis of your body, right? You have a barbell on your back squat. You have a barbell on the front squat. You have dumbbells in your hand, doing dumbbell deadlift. You're essentially where you need to put weight on your heel and have your heel sturdy. This is a terrible option. Do not do this. All right, moving on. These are actually some of my favorite hiking shoes, rafting shoes. I think these are terrain, I think they're called terrain cross-training shoes if I'm not mistaken. They're called Astro. I was very happy with them when I was going to Costa Rica, and I needed something for essentially doing all kinds of activities that would actually be okay doing all kinds of activities in. So we were in some cold places, we were in some hot places, we were rafting, and actually these have these little holes on the side through which the water pours out, so they don't end up being all like boats of water while you're rafting. Not something that I really cared for, but came out handy. So the sole is pretty sturdy, but you can run in them comfortably. You can run on terrain. I don't think they're meant for running on asphalt, even though I'm pretty sure I have done that before, and my knees felt fine, my back felt fine. So I was really happy with them. One other cool thing about them is they're vegan. So I was specifically looking for a vegan hiking and cross-training shoe, and these were, I don't remember the price, but I think they were less than $100, and they fit so many purposes. I would not really do weight training in them unless I had to. I think I exercised with bands and such on vacation, but I obviously didn't go to the gym. I didn't do any axial stuff. So, very good option for vacation exercising. Probably not a good option if you're doing like any kind of gym workouts. Moving on. These are Fit Kicks. Recently bought them. Researched online that they are a pretty good option for a deadlift. And people have deadlifted in them and said that they were fine. I have deadlifted in them and I was fine until I got to heavy weight. So I think at around like 2.5, 3 plates, my feet start sliding apart. I pull sumo. So when I deadlift, my feet are like this, right? Essentially, if you touch the bottom, everything is rubber, except for these spots where the pressure goes. Even the fingers, it's really funky looking. So this part is actually really fuzzy. It's covered with some, I'm not really sure what, but it is not rubber. It's some different texture. So exactly where the weight goes and where I want it to stick to the ground the firmest, it doesn't stick. And my feet slide. And if your feet slide, you can tear something. You can tear your groin, you can tear your, like my calf got very tight at once. The muscle closer to my groin, my adductor wasn't happy. So immediately when this happened, I just took them off and completed the workout with barefoot. So these were really promising. I even posted about them until I got to some super heavy weights, and after that, they were just not good. I think these will be pretty comfortable for conventional. So if you pull sumo, if you pull conventional deadlift and your feet are close together, then this could be fine. But in sumo, they just slide apart, which is dangerous. Very dangerous. All right, more deadlift shoes. This originally was supposed to be a deadlift shoe video, and I just had to pile all my shoes out here and talk to you guys about all of the other shoes. All right. These are super exciting, super comfortable, and actually probably the reason why I wanted to make this video is because I'm gonna buy another pair. These came too small. My fingers slightly bend and slightly squish, but they don't slide. Their sole is rubber. It is really thin and minimal. Another reason why I wanted to get new deadlift shoes is because the shoes that I had currently or anything that I found did not have minimal sole, and I had such trouble finding shoes with minimal sole that now if people are looking, I just feel like I need to share where to find shoes with minimal sole for perfect deadlift. So these came out pretty perfect. Their sole is a little thicker in the heel, a tiny bit thicker in the heel. I don't know, maybe 1/8 of an inch. I think that is due to the insole. So maybe, yeah, you can actually see, yeah, the squishy insole on the heel more than on the front. But who knows, maybe if I take out the insole, yeah, look at that, this is comfy. There's no really awkward or rough stitching in there. Everything is really nice. So maybe if when I get the larger size, if I pull like this, yeah, this will be the most minimal that I can go, and the rubber sole absolutely sticks to the ground. It will not slide, so I'm so excited to actually exercise in these. This was my second best option for deadlift. I want to reassure people who run in minimal shoes that I'm not an expert in that at all. I have tried, didn't work for me. I like my very non-minimal Ghost by Brooks or Nikes or even New Balance sometimes. But minimal shoes for running, I don't know how to do this. I'm not really sure. I would enjoy it, especially if I'm doing heavy workouts and running at the same time. But, so these are minimal runners. I bought them originally for deadlift. Why? Because my friends gave these to me to try. The sole is very nice and rubbery and sticky. They are very, very minimal. I can't even take the insole out of this because it's all stitched together. Yeah, the only problem with these was, let me see. Do you see how wide the toe box here is? So for the shoes for deadlift don't need to be super wide. They need to just nicely hug your foot and not leave any room, right? You need to be able, they need to be able like to collect your foot and you push against the side of the shoe, right? With this, the box, the toe box in the front was a little too large, so I felt like my thumb is actually sticking against this little rubber wall in here while the other toes are hanging out and there's too much room for them. So maybe this will come nice and handy for running. I really liked how much grip they had on the ground. They didn't slide at all. But it probably won't work for me as well as the ground locks. And the brand again is called TSLA, and that is the name of the shoe, Bear Trek. Cool. Another minimal shoe. I actually really love those. I have those just for leisure. They're Vivo Barefoot. You've probably heard of them. My dog chewed them up a little bit, but I stitched them together and they're fine. So as you can see, these are quite old. I really love this pair. And I have tried deadlifting in them. They had a similar problem, if you see the trend here. The toe box in the front was a little too wide, and then they were just kind of loose and flabby. Like, these grip your foot. They're, I think, neoprene. Yeah, the top is neoprene, and then this is fake leather. So these are actually accidentally vegan as well, because this is, yeah, this is, they didn't even try to make it fake leather. It's some super fake plasticky material. Good. But my point is, with this, they hug your foot very snug. These are just wobbly, and I don't feel steady in them. I don't feel steady doing deadlift. I can do maybe upper body or something that doesn't involve legs in them, but if it comes to squat, deadlift, or any kind of leg exercises, no. If it comes to running, do you see how bigger the hole here is for the foot? Like, here is just the ankle that comes out, and here I almost feel like when I'm walking, when I'm doing kind of exercises, I think I tried lifting them once or twice, and it was really dumb because the ankle is so unsupported. So if you lift, you can get a shoe that supports your ankle. You see the hole is a lot smaller for your ankle. The hole is a lot smaller, so keep that in mind. Getting next to my squat shoes. Absolutely love these. These are Added Power 3. So these are the Adidas squat shoes for women, or for, well, I'm not really sure if they're unisex. But I really love these. They come with, I think this is a 3/4 inch heel. So these have a pretty steep heel. If you prefer squatting something more flat, then you can use Vans, Chucks, Converse, anything like that. I'm not really sure how to go about ankle support there. I have done it before and it was fine, but I absolutely love the ankle support with these shoes. Yeah, it's just the most comfortable thing. I feel when I get them nice and tight in here, especially with the strap on top, these are really, really cozy. So, absolutely love these. I even used to deadlift in these, but then the heavier I got, and then the more I got into sumo, the more I felt like I was just falling forward because of the heel. So, maybe it can be done. The heavier you got from me, the more my calves were not having it. So I started looking for shoes like that. And my last pair. Ooh, these are also pretty old. In Russia, this is considered a rather, it was considered, when I was a teenager, a really cool and popular shoe to have. My American friends laughed at me and said, only kids wear those here, like children, small, tiny kids. I think they're still stylish. I don't know, I think this doesn't go out of style, so yeah, these are super old. I think they're still leather. Yeah, I think I bought them before I went vegan. So, and some of these also may have, let's see. I don't know if this one has leather. If you care about this, I'll have to check whether the top strap is real or not. This is all fake, but I'll have to check about this. Anywho, everything else I think does not have leather. Okay, yes, but these definitely are. I brought them from home, I think, oh gosh, how many years ago? 10? It's been 10 years. Cool. I'm surprised they're still so white. Yeah, but they're really warm, they're cozy. You can't really lift in them. These are just leisure shoes. Another problem is if you get rid of the original soles that are pretty thick, then this pushes on your ankle from the back, so that's not cool. But outside of that, they're really nice to wear in the rain. They're really, I think they go with any kind of clothing, even if it's a fancy skirt and top or jeans. The sole is really flat and not bouncy, as you can see, so I mean, maybe you could squat on those if you had to. Yeah, I think I even did a couple times, but I definitely wouldn't run in those. I probably wouldn't lift in those unless it was upper body. Yeah, they have, actually very similar to these shoes, they have a very similar like style of ankle support. There's less ankle support. These are both Adidas. Yeah, but the way their back is made is very similar. That's actually a very interesting observation. I didn't even think about it. So yeah, I think I've maybe exercised in them a couple times because I had to. That was definitely not the goal, and I just enjoy hanging out in them and kind of take care of them for the time when I need to look fancy when I go out, even though yeah, I'm not sure when that time comes again. So yeah, these are all of the shoes that I own that you could potentially exercise in. And just to recap real quick, if you need a good deadlifting shoe, get something minimal, something grippy and flat, that hugs your foot really nice and snug, doesn't leave too much room in the toe box, that fits you, and it's not too big, not too little. I mean, I think that's a given, but you don't need more room. In running shoes, you can have a little more room. You can have a soft, bouncy heel. They can be light. They can be more minimal. Whatever you prefer, whatever you're comfortable with, and whatever your knees and your back are comfortable with. For leisure and hanging out, I mean, there's many options. Depending on what you like and depending on what you're doing that day, right? Like I probably wouldn't go hike in these. I could probably go hike in all of these. So definitely take your activities and the length and environment around into consideration. Favorite hiking shoe for sure. These are actually also, even though they're mesh on top, they're kind of warm. So I do hike in them in the winter as well in North Carolina. And squat shoe, firm heel, really nice and tight around the ankle, and everywhere else could get really snug on your foot and hold it in place. And I think that's a wrap. Whew, shoes! I'm glad these are athletic shoes. I would not be able to make a video like this about like heels because I have like 2. Alright guys, well thank you so much for watching. This was Katya with Total Body Lab, and if you have any questions about shoes for exercising, drop down a note in the comment, click the like button, share this video with a friend who's still lifting in running shoes, and tell them not to do it. And if they start arguing with you, then tell them that they can argue with me. My Instagram and Facebook is on the bottom. If you have more questions, you can reach me on social media, and let's chat. Let's talk more about lifting shoes. If you have any suggestions, I'm all ears. I want to try more lifting shoes whenever there's next time for me to buy new shoes. Bye guys.